Hey guys, we are now on cycle 1, week 3. Um, let's get started right away. For today, we did another round of Battleship, and I could not believe it for a timeline. The kids got it 1, 2, 3, 4 right in a row. So that was a great comeback for them after last week, me getting a point and them not getting it. So they came back with a vengeance. It was a lot of fun, and again, we take those cards away and then I have them go through it with the missing cards while still reciting all the ones that are missing too. For math today, I did something different, and as we sang, I had kids taking turns. So I have 2 of these really big poppets, and so the kids, I would have one use this one use this one, and then they would race each other to see how far they could get along, popping those little bubbles there, while the rest of the class was singing through the skip counting numbers. And then it was taking a long time because the poppets are so big. We were singing so fast that I ended up doing it 2 and 2, trying to race against the class as we sang through that. Another thing that we did for history this week was the Greek and Roman gods. And for that one, I had it printed out, the Greek gods in green on a piece of paper and the Roman gods in red. And it didn't quite work out the way I was hoping. I had them randomly assigned a Greek or a Roman god, and then they had to kind of find their partner somewhere in the room. I think it would have been better, and if you guys want to do this at home, you can have them either written down or printed off and do like all the Greek are in green, all the red, Roman are in red, and then you could give them all the Greek or all the Roman, and then have them try and find the opposite, their match around the room somewhere. So kind of like a matching game. It's a really fun way to play with both of those gods and making the connection that in the Greek it was Zeus, and for the Romans the equivalent was Jupiter. And then the song for that one is really fast, but it's really fun, so the kids do enjoy learning that one, and they usually all have it, a few weeks in as we continue to review it. For geography, we were doing the Hebrew Empire, and so I spent some time going over the fact that this right here is actually from this dotted line, and that on a map, this dotted square will show us that that is where this zoomed up portion is coming from. So just learning how to read a map and saying, okay, this piece is not just sitting in the middle of the ocean, it's actually from that zoomed up area. So then there's just a lot of little things that we covered. Judah, and for Judah, I drew a J in the kingdom down there. And so I just kind of swooped it. So then it made us think of the letter J and how it just goes down and up there. And then that helped us remember it was that one that was just kind of cupping on the bottom. And then Israel was on top. And then for the Dead Sea, so it was the Sea of Galilee, the Jordan River, and the Dead Sea. And for the Dead Sea, we just kind of had fun with it, and we're like, Dead Sea, and that was on the bottom. So that was fun to remember that Dead Sea was on the bottom. For science, we are talking about some parts of an animal cell. And for that one, I did some fun hand motions for that. So we have 2 fists together, and we say nucleus, and then you can go like this, or you can go like this and point to your eyes and say cytoplasm. So we're thinking of cytoplasm. And then the next one is vacuoles, and that's really fun because we pretend to vacuum. So vacuoles, and then mitochondria. Okay, so we're flexing our muscles, mitochondria, and then cell membrane. So it's like a cell phone, cell membrane. And then the last one is Golgi bodies, which is kind of a fun word. So we kind of move our body and we go like that, Golgi bodies. And then I was calling up students one at a time to kind of do a little charade. So then I would whisper to them, okay, you're going to be mitochondria. And then they would come out and go in front of the class, and they wouldn't say what they were, but the class had to guess, and they'd just do the action for it. And then the class would guess, oh, mitochondria. So that was a fun way to interact with that one as well. Then for English, we're continuing the preposition song. So we did the same thing again where we went over it, repeated it, and then we started to sing the song. And then I had them walk along. So I said, oh, one of our prepositions is along. I'm going to have you walk along this line of carpeting here and repeat the prepositions for this week. So we said along, amid, among, around, at, atop. And then I said, all right, now I want you to walk around in a circle. And so they would walk around in a circle and repeat it again. And then for the last one, I sent them back to their seats and I had them stand atop their chairs. And so while they were standing atop their chairs, they said all of their English prepositions for this week. Again, the song is linked in week 2's video, so you can go back and listen to those. I believe it's also on the CDs too. And that, again, is a fun one. So just play that and have them listen to the whole song so that by the end of it, we can all sing it together. For Latin, we started the first declension noun endings. And so for that one, to help us remember, we hold up one finger for the first declension noun endings and then one finger because we're going to do the singular one first. So for that one, we go and we point up. So that's what helps me remember it. And we go I, and then we point into our mouths to remember that it's ah, and then I, singular first declension. And then when we get to the plural, we're going to hold up two fingers, right? More than one, plural. And then I go I, arum, is, as, is. So for that one, I'm going I, and then I kind of point to my arm because it kind of sounds like arum. And then I go like this, and I flap my little geese wings. Is, as, is. I, arum, is, as, is. I, arum, is, as, is. Plural first declension. So that helps us remember first declension, and then this is singular, and then two of them plural. We played a round of Duck, Duck, Goose with that. It was just more silly to get them as they're repeating the same thing over and over again, getting some movement in. Then we did our fine arts, and for fine arts, we did upside down images this week. And I had them draw two separate pictures, and we talked about right brain, left brain, and how when we're drawing things upside down, it's making us kind of stretch and use more of our brain or different parts of our brain than we normally use when we're doing, when I just say, draw a bear. You wouldn't use the same parts of your brain if I just stopped and had you follow these directions of upside down and you're trying to think, what am I drawing right now? So we drew a really cute picture of a bear, and then we also drew a prince, and I can show you that one. So these are the steps for that one. So we had started out here, and so as you can see, as it progresses, it kind of looks like it's going to be a frog, and we end up turning it right side up, and it turns out to be a prince in the end. So it was fun to hear as we went along, and when you do an upside down drawing, it's always fun to pause and just see, what does this look like? What do you think it's going to be? And the prince one is a really good one because how they drew it, it kind of tricks the brain a little bit, thinking about a frog. And some of the kids said a car too, and some of them said a pie. And so it was really fun to be able to flip it over at the end and then be, what? It's a prince? So that was a good one. And then if you go online, you can find other options for upside down drawings. And I'm sure on CC Connected as well. Presentations, the kids did great again. We want to stress again, listening, right? Being good listeners. So I talk about that every time, and I'm always encouraging them. And it's always fun to hear what the kids have to say, and they all get excited with each other's presentations. So they're doing a great job overall. And then for science, it was gorgeous. So we got to go outside again and do the plant walk. And the plant walk was really fun this week. I talked about collecting specimens. And so I got them to get a piece of paper and a pencil and their magnifying glass, and then also the nature notebooks that I kind of made for them last week. If anyone brought those back, then they had them with them. And then we walked outside and we really took time to look at all the flowers and plants, and they were able to collect a lot and bring them back into the classroom. And so then by the time we got back into the classroom, we were able to talk about, I was explaining making a journal entry in a nature journal and how you would make notes on that. Like we found a milkweed pod and we found a milkweed plant. So how would you, the milkweed plant looks like this, the pod looks like this, the seed would look like this. Oh, this is the pod cut open, and how you could make notes on that in your journal if you wanted to, because the kids really seemed interested in writing in their journal and recording what they found. And I think that one of the kids took that pod home with them. So it was really cool to pull it apart and even dissect some of nature. For review today, I introduced another one of my fun review games that we'll be playing this year, and that one is Zonk. And Zonk was fun because it kind of reminds me of like a Price is Right game where or one of those game shows where you keep drawing for points. So we had two separate teams. I would ask the review questions, and then each team would have a turn. I'd go to one of the team members and say, okay, it's your turn to pick, and they would start drawing for points. So they would draw in, oh, you got 700, okay. And then I would say, do you want to keep going, or do you want to stop here? And then they would always say keep going. So then they draw again. It's 300 points, and then stop or keep going. They keep going, 500 points, until they would either stop. So a lot of them stopped after like 2 or 3, but some of them kept going, and then sometimes you would get a zonk. And so when you get a zonk, then all of those points that you had drawn beforehand go back into the envelope, and they're gone. But it was good. There was a lot of competitiveness going on, but it was good learning for being good sports and encouraging to our teammates. And it was a lot of fun risking it when the kids would pick like 5 of them and the whole team was freaking out. No, stop! And they usually got a zonk. So, but overall, really fun. It was a good game. And yeah, a really good week. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to email me or text me. And I will get back to you with any answers. But yeah, have a great week of learning. Thanks again, guys.